For example, it's me who choose my salary.
Right. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of people listening who might be very much jealous of that then, Anne-Cécile.
Yes and no, because sometimes it's easier to have a manager that take decision for you, because
Hmm.
then you're not responsible of it. So
Yeah, I see. So that's truly trusting then everyone in the organization. How big is the organization then?
yeah, in France we are 90.
90. Yeah, yeah.
And all over the world, because we have also some people in Lebanon, some people in the Philippines, and
Hmm.
some people in like Mexico, Peru, etc. So
Hmm.
in the world, I think we are like 150, something like that.
Welcome to the EcoSend podcast. Stories from marketers, founders, and changemakers leading businesses for a better world.
Hi, welcome to another episode of the EcoSend podcast. I'm your host, James, and I am thrilled to bring you another wonderful show today. For those of you new to the show, the EcoSend podcast is a show where I speak to other amazing people doing great things in the world of business and in non-profits, usually trying to make the world a little bit better in their own ways. I am thrilled today to be joined by Anne-Cécile. Now, Ann-Cécile is from Make Sense, and Make Sense has been creating tools and programs for collective mobilization. And they enable everyone to take action and build an inclusive and sustainable society. And they've been doing that for 10 years. Anne-Cécile is joining me from Paris, which I'm a little bit jealous of. Anne-Cécile, how are you doing today? I'm thrilled to be speaking to you. How's your day going?
Hey, yeah, hi, James. Thanks for inviting me here.
Awesome.
I'm fine. It's a tough day,
Yeah,
but I'm fine, and it's sunny outside, so it's nice. And yes,
that's good.
I'm in the middle of Paris. I'm at my work today, so
Yeah.
at Makes Sense, and we are in Bastille. So it's in middle of Paris. It's nice. You can visit whenever you want.
I would love to take you up on that offer. That sounds great. It's been a while since I've been to Paris. It's one of my favorite cities.
You're
It's
welcome.
so good. I know there's a lot we can talk about. Maybe what are you up to at the moment then, Anne-Cécile? Aside from hiding in your office in a cool booth, what are you up to? What's your role at Make Sense?
Okay. So I'm working for Make Sense for 7 years now.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But right now I'm in charge of the recruiters on the Jobs That Make Sense platform. You
Okay.
want maybe to know what is Job That Makes Sense?
That would be great. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we with Job That Makes Sense, it's a platform to look for a new job with more sense, so with more impact. You want to be
Hmm.
engaged with your job. You can go and look for a job on Jobs That Make Sense platform. And I'm taking care of people that put an offer on the platform, so
Right,
the
right.
recruiters.
Yeah,
Uh,
the companies themselves. Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I see. So I guess this is obviously a growing field indeed, because for so many years there's been jobs, well, I guess I don't know if you'd say jobs that don't make sense, but jobs that have been purely about get the work done and you get paid for it. But increasingly people want to be doing some good in the world. People want to be joining organizations that
And
that
that's a
are
good thing.
that have a yeah, and that is a very good thing. So I take it has this been going for 7 years, or is it something that you just started doing recently? It's
Yeah. So our goal with Jobs That Make Sense is to participate in the social and environmental transformation of the society through employment, because we spend a lot of time with our work. So we think that
Yeah.
it's the best to have an impact. And this platform was born more than 7 years ago, actually. It
Right.
was some volunteers that built it. And it was used by a lot of people, but we were not taking a lot of attention on it, you know. And then some people, Jean-Christophe, 3 years ago, decided to redevelop it and really put a lot of effort to transform it and to make it grow and having a better impact. And that's also when I started to work for this team as well. But it's been more than 7 years that it exists. But before it was just like a website and we were not really taking care of it.
Sure.
And
Sure.
then
Sure.
we changed the strategy 3 years ago.
Sure. So what kinds of roles are people looking for, and is there a typical sector that you focus on? I'm intrigued by what you've seen the most interest in on that
Yeah.
side.
There are no real typical sectors. We have a lot of organization NGOs on the platform. Like we have 7,000 organizations on the platform, so it's quite big. And you can have like different organizations that will look for different kind of people. So, for example, you will have NGOs. All NGOs or all social business that will just look for normal and normal jobs, you know, so marketing, communication, developers, business developers, partnerships, all those kind of job that you can find in all organization. And then you will have really specific organization that are focused on one specific job or a sector. For example, sustainable energy.
Sure.
Then they will look for really specific engineers, environmental engineers, on those kind of sector that then are really more focused, you know. So it's quite wide, and you can have a lot of different jobs on the platform.
Yeah. So I guess if you're helping recruiters on the platform, is there ever organizations that you don't want on the platform? Are there ever jobs that don't make sense?
Yeah, for sure. It's quite hard to know what is impact or not. And sometimes in the team, we are like, okay, who are we to judge?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has a different definition on impact. And so we are building different stuff for that. For sure, we have a blacklist with different sectors. For example, I can't find the name in English, but the oil sectors.
Yeah, oil and fossil fuels.
For example, or weapons or those kind of stuff that we don't accept on the platform, drugs as well. So we have this kind of blacklist, you know, about sectors. And then after, we also try to give the tools to the citizens, to people who come on the platform to look for a job, to have the possibility to, you know, judge by themselves. So we help the organization to have more transparency on what they are doing and to emphasize what they are doing, why they are impactful and those stuff. Then this is the person who come to look for a job that can choose. And also we have like a lot of debates in intern with to choose like who is impact or not, but it's more for the clients. Because some organizations pay to be able to put more offers on the platform or to have more visibility. And for those organizations, we are really taking care and paying attention if they are impactful or not. And so we
Yeah.
have a lot of debate, and it has to be improved as well. But
Yeah.
right now, it's working quite well. And also, there is something that is natural, if an organization is really not impactful or not in a positive way, I mean, not sustainable, um, uh, like they will post one offer, but then it will not work because
Mm.
they will not find anyone because nobody will be interested on this offer. And so they will not come back because they will not lose time to always put offers. So with
Yeah,
all
so
those
there's
things,
a
it works.
yeah, absolutely. There's almost a self policing of the system where people are on the platform looking for a purposeful job, and if there's a company that doesn't match that, then they're not necessarily going to want to apply to that, and the company advertising the job isn't going to get any applicants, so isn't going to see it as value. So it almost self-regulates. But that's a really interesting because it's a whole interesting topic because I think I speak to a lot of businesses who typically as a business you care about profit, right? You care about customers, you care about making money, and you introduce this concept of like, well, some money you should say no to, some customers you maybe don't want to accept, and how you draw that line and who's the right person to make that call. It's a lot of people I think struggle with this. They want to do the right thing, but it's difficult. We ourselves find this at EcoSend as well, deciding whether someone whether we truly want to support someone as a customer. And I think things like the B Corp program make it helpful as a bit of guidance, I think, from what I've seen, like with a list of sort of industries that are less suitable. So yeah, that's
Yeah, on the platform actually.
oh, there we go. I didn't know that. Okay, I teed you up there. That's that's really interesting. So I've jumped into all of the discussion about jobs to make sense, Anne-Cécile, but I didn't actually ask you, how did you get involved with this in the first place? Did you wake up one day and decide that's what you wanted to do? Was there a journey over time? I'm intrigued to hear your path to this. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a specific path to this because I didn't enter in Make Sense or in the like sustainability environment through environment. I entered into this kind of world,
Mm.
let's say that through the social part,
Yeah.
because the journey to sustainability is not always through environmental, and it's all
Yeah.
linked. And for me, it started with the social part.
Mm.
I started with Cheer Up. It's a student NGO. So during my studies, I decided to be part of it, to go and meet students, but that are who are in hospitals.
Right.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and they are like us, but they have a cancer, and
Yeah.
going to like meet them, have nice moments with them, trying to help them realize their project. And
Mm.
then it's like a little word, let's
Mm.
say. And through this project, I've heard about Make Sense, and I participated to one event of Make Sense, and then
Mm.
I applied for an internship there, and then
Right.
I
Yeah.
decided to stay, and I'm still there 7 years after.
And then 7 years later,
Yeah,
I see. So you got addicted to doing good.
yeah.
Then, yeah.
Let's say that. I try at least.
Yeah, yeah. That's an incredible charity though. Then the Cheer Up, you said it was called
Yeah,
what you
cheer
were
up.
doing at university. Is that still going? It's up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And it's part of like 20 different schools
Yeah.
in France,
Yeah.
universities or uh, business school, or so when you are a student and you are part of those schools, you can join this organization, which is also nice because then you meet people from other
Mm.
schools.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's It's so interesting as well. I think something we've noticed since being more involved in the world of climate, where these worlds are not like totally isolated from each other. It's like if you're doing
Not at
something
all.
to try and help with climate, you're not like the competition to people doing something to help people in healthcare or doing something to help with diversity and inclusion. Like you, there's all of these different related worlds where people are trying to just. I think what aligns everyone is just trying to make the world better and improve things. And there's something incredibly uplifting and inspiring, almost addictive about working on these projects and collaborating with people that share that kind of viewpoint. It's
Totally. Yeah.
I think we definitely it's exciting to see more of it happening in business. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
And all the environmental issues are also linked with social issues, because if you have like you are not in the good region and then you have a lot of problems with climate, then you will have health problems.
Mm,
You will have like money problems, and then it starts to become social problems. So everything
yeah.
is linked. Mm-mm.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, absolutely. You do something right for one on one sort of axes, and rarely does that good deed or like project have a negative influence on other things. It's often that it also benefits on other
Mm-mm.
axes, which is yeah, very uplifting, I think. um, so I know. So when you joined Makes Sense then, and clearly having been there for 7 years, they must be a wonderful organization to work at. Like, tell me more about what Makes Sense are up to, and why have you been there for 7 years, Anne-Cécile?
But because there are a lot to do there.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are a lot to do. No, why I'm there for 7 years? That's a good question. I think it's because I had the opportunities to do a lot of different missions, and also because we have a lot of freedom.
Mm.
We are, can I say that in English? Experiencing. Uh, mm, we are trying a lot of stuff in
Oh,
Mexico.
experimenting. You're
Yeah,
experimenting a
experience.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
with a flat governance, for example.
Right,
And
right.
so this kind of stuff that's like the freedom, the flat governance. We are trying a lot of things and it's moving a lot. And
Mhm.
I like that. I like to play with that and to participate to that. And it's quite trying to, invent a new society inside of Make Sense. And I love it.
So tell me more about that. A flat governance. That sounds very different to the typical business or organization, which has a an almighty leader and then and then layers of management and then employees and mere mortals at the on the ground. So how does Make Sense operate then?
So first, you should read a book from Frédéric Laloux, which name is Reinventing Organizations. So it's in English.
Oh,
Uh,
it's in English. I was gonna say I might struggle if it's
no,
a
no, you
French
can have
one.
it.
No.
You can have
Okay.
it in English, and he's doing a lot of conference about that as well. And
Okay.
we got inspired from Frédéric Laloux.
Hmm.
And what is a flat organization? It's a big subject, but first, it's more about like we don't have hierarchy, for
Mm.
example. We have leaders, but we don't have
Hmm.
hierarchy. I don't have managers.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and it's just to make everyone responsible and to have to trust everyone and on the
Mm.
capacity of everyone and on the capacity of everyone to take decisions. And when you
Right.
take a
Right.
decision, of course, you have some stuff you should and must or have to do. So, for example, if I take a decision that will have an impact on other people from my work, I will have to ask their advice. And
Okay.
this name, like doing that, this process is an advice process. We name it an advice process. So when you take a decision that could have an impact on other people in your team, or it makes sense, you have to do an advice process.
Okay.
And a flat organization has a lot of process like this. So we don't have hierarchy, but it doesn't mean it's a big mess. We have a special governance, and we have a lot of process to make it work. And the advice process is one of them, but I can explain a lot of other process. For example, it's me who choose my salary.
Right. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of people listening who might be very much jealous of that then, Anne-Cécile.
Yes and no, because sometimes it's easier, to have your manager that give, like, your salary is this amount, and that can, like, sometimes it's easier to have a manager that take decision for you, because then you're not responsible of it. So
right. Yeah.
sometimes it's easier. So
yeah, I see. So that's truly trusting then everyone in the organization. How big is the organization then? Is it like in terms of number of people?
Yeah, in France we are 90.
90,
and all over the world, because we have also some people in Lebanon, some people in the Philippines, and some people in America's countries, like Mexico, Peru, etc. So in the world, I think we are like 150, something like that.
Right. That's it. That is incredible, though. I guess, like, yeah. Do you find that overall that's been a big reason why you've been so happy to work at the at Make Sense and to stay there? Then that's been a huge part of it.
Yeah, I think the largest part of it is the fact that everyone in the organization is trying to have a real impact, positive impact. I mean, and everyone is really concerned on social, environmental subjects, and of course it's the main part of my motivation. But I think if it's been more than 7 years that I'm in the organization, it's because of this governance. Because like you have to do new things every day to invent new process, especially because I'm an HR as well. And so you have to get organized in a special way, and you have to invent stuff because sometimes it doesn't exist in another organization. So you have to like choose by yourself and try stuff and fail and try again. And this kind of stuff is really important for me, and it's really important in our values, for example, as well. I think it's because of that.
Yeah, and I guess in many ways it kind of comes back to our, like, what we were talking about earlier on around hiring and jobs, and like hiring. I guess an organization that makes sense wouldn't work if you hired the wrong people, or like, people were not aligned with those values that the organization shared, and underscores the importance of hiring people that are passionate about the same things. And clearly you've been doing a great job of that. It sounds like you've earned a very reputable status to be running something like a job board for this area, given the organization itself. It's you clearly are the experts on this.
We are trying to. We are also trying to, share this with other organizations that want to do the same. So we have programs for that, for other people. And also, trying to exchange on those kind of topics, because other organizations are also trying stuff. And so that's why we also trying to make people speak about it. For us, for them, like for everyone. And that's why in my team, so in Jobs That Make Sense, on the Jobs That Make Sense platform, as I'm speaking with recruiters every day, is like I think I speak with 5 or 10 recruiters every day.
Wow.
Yeah, and 2 years, so it's been a lot of people, and
Yeah.
yeah, and so I meet a lot of HR or people that are recruiting, and they all want to try to do their best to have a special organization, and they are all facing kind of the same problems. And so we decided to this summer to create a community of people of HR or recruiters, so that they can, speak together on
Yeah.
flat governance or just recruitment, on those things, and
Yeah.
help each other, so that we can all together participate to the transformation of society. Because if we do it by ourselves, just jobs that make sense, it will not work. We
Yeah.
need everyone.
I that kind of takes me quite nicely onto like one of the questions I always like to ask people on this show, which is like, where do you see the future of your industry going? And I guess that's, you're helping shape it in many ways. What do you think the potential is there of that community, and how things could change for, I guess, especially hiring and recruitment in the future?
Well, what I've seen, and there are a lot of studies on that, is that a lot of people, and especially young people, but not only young people, want to have more sense in their work. So if they want to have more sense in their work, then let's say the organization that are recruiting, they have to change as well. And so with the platform, it's what we want to do, is that showing that organizations that are really making effort on those topics will succeed to recruit easier than the others. And then, we want the society change thanks to that. Thanks to the job, because we spend so much time on our job that it's one of the best ways to have an impact. So, and we really see, and we have a lot of studies that shows that more and more people want to have more sense, and they don't want to work if the goal of the company is not the good one,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then everyone wins, right? I think everyone wins. I don't see anyone losing because of that,
I think so too, but I also know that it's not easy, especially on economic part. And everyone wins, but it's not easy, and you always have to find, the good balance. And for us as well, sometimes to find the good marketplace liquidity, for example, is not easy, but we are working for that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's incredibly inspiring to hear, Ann-Cécile, because you're truly changing so much by the values you have. They are incredibly important to your own organization, but because of the industry you're in, they are being multiplied by hundreds, thousands of other people being influenced by that. It's incredibly inspiring. I am excited to see how things develop over the coming years. It's here's to another 7 years of exciting progress.
I know, but as there are a lot of projects, it makes sense. For example, we have an investment fund, we have an incubator, we have programs for citizens to get engaged. Maybe in 7 years, I will not be in jobs that make sense anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I can change. There are a lot of missions and a lot to do, but right now I think I'm at my place. I love what I'm doing, and there are still a lot of things to do to make jobs that make sense grow, and to have more and more profiles on the platform that come to look for a job. And most of the people type on Google job with more sense, And that's
So you're quite well positioned for that.
our impact job, and that's
Yeah.
how they find our platform. So we still have a lot to do to grow, but
Yeah.
we already like doubled our the amount of people that come to visit the platform since 1 year. So yeah, we are already doing a lot, but we still have millions of people to convince.
Or billions even.
Or
Yeah.
billions,
No, it's
right.
yeah. No, it's incredibly inspiring. I'm sure many people listening will be very inspired by what you're doing. Maybe even are inspired to go check out Make Sense, Jobs.Make Sense, to actually maybe explore a career path that could be even more
Yeah.
meaningful. So the time has flown by, Anne-Cécile. I can't believe we're already at like basically at half an hour. So is there anything else you wanted to share, or anything else you wanted to talk through?
I think that's a good question. Right. No, if you look for a job with like a sense, and right now if you're doing a job with no sense, my advice would be to like just start to go meet people and start on Google. You can Google jobs with impact, or start with doing like small stuff, with creating some alerts on some, for example, job board or stuff like that, and try to go meet people that are inside organization that for you is a good organization with an impact, and then
Yeah.
starts small, and then the more you meet people, the more you will be able to know, okay, this could be nice for me, and then you can apply to some organization. But if like the step is too big for you, just go with small steps. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, right now, Jobs That Make Sense is more in France than in
Yeah.
other countries.
Yeah.
We are trying, and we are creating the same platform in Asian countries.
Okay. Yeah.
And we have some offers in English, but most of them are in French.
Sure.
But still, people can like you can go on the platform, and there is an English version, and you can like
Yeah.
try to look for a job and see what happens. But I'm
Yeah.
sure there are also other platforms in other countries that you can check as well.
Sure.
And we have
Very.
a Make Sense English version as well, so you can go on the
Okay.
makesense.org if you want to get engaged.
Amazing. We'll definitely link to that on the show notes, Anne-Cécile. And if people want to hear more from you or connect with you, you're on LinkedIn as well. We'll put that in the show notes as well. Thank you, Anne-Cécile. It's been so inspiring talking to you. Thank you for all of the amazing work you're doing. It's incredibly motivating. So thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks, and thanks to you, James. It was really nice to like discuss with you, even if my English is not that good. I hope it was nice, and for me it was interesting as well. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Anne-Cécile. Your English is far better than my French, so it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you for joining me. And and thank you to those of you listening or watching. Really hope you've enjoyed the show. Do go check out Make Sense if you're keen to learn more. And also, if you've enjoyed the show, please do let us know. It really helps us spread the word about what people like Anne-Cécile are doing. So thank you for listening and watching today, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.
See you.